Imagine walking down the dimly lit hallways of your school late at night, the only sound being the echo of your footsteps. But what if I told you that some students have experienced things that will send chills down your spine? From ghostly whispers to mysterious shadows, tonight, we're diving into the scariest school nights that will make you think twice about staying late. Hey guys, let's start the video and I tell you what happened with me. It was my senior year in high school, and everything seemed pretty normal, until it wasn't. This happened in a small, quiet town where the highlight of everyone's week was Friday night football games. Our team was decent, and in a place where there's not much else to do, everyone showed up to watch. That Friday started like any other. My friend JJ and I were in one of those pointless elective classes. JJ, being the smooth talker he is, spun his chair around to Kayla and Ashley, two girls we knew well, and invited them to join us at the game. They were in, so the plan was set. After school, JJ dropped me off at home, and a few hours later he picked me up. We grabbed Kayla and Ashley, then headed to the school's back parking lot near the woods. We had some drinks stashed, pouring them into water bottles to sneak into the bleachers. By the third quarter, night had fallen, and our team was losing badly, an unusual sight for us. The crowd began to thin out, but we stayed, figuring we'd hang out on the field after the game. When the final whistle blew, we were among the last people left. The field lights went out, leaving us in near total darkness, save for the moonlight. JJ decided we should head into the woods by the field. The girls were hesitant, but JJ and I ran ahead, leaving them to follow. Eventually, we all squeezed through a gap in the fence and ventured deeper into the woods. What started as a fun scare turned into something far more sinister. JJ and I were messing around, trying to lose the girls, when we spotted it. Just ahead, a towering black figure stood between two trees. At first, we thought it might be a shadow, until it spoke. "You kids shouldn't be in here," said a woman's voice, cold and unnerving. We froze. The figure seemed to grow taller and closer without moving its legs. Without thinking, JJ and I ran, calling for the girls until we found them and bolted out of the woods. Back at the car, we told them what we saw. They thought we were joking, but the fear in our voices said otherwise. We stayed in the car, watching the woods, but no one ever came out. To this day, I have no idea who or what that woman was, but that wasn't the last time I'd encounter something strange. Fast forward to the summer. I was working at the school as a custodian, mowing the grass in the courtyard. While taking a break, I glanced up and saw someone at one of the second-floor windows. It was an older woman with short, curly hair. She didn't move, just stood there, watching me. When I went upstairs with my boss to investigate, the room was empty. All the doors were locked and no one else was in the building. My boss brushed it off, but I couldn't shake the unease. A few days later, I was mopping the upstairs hallway alone, with music playing softly on my radio. That's when I heard it. A woman's voice, clear as day, calling, "Young man." I froze and turned off the music, desperately checking the classrooms one by one. They were all empty. Shaken, I ran downstairs to tell my boss again, but no one believed me. It wasn't until later that I connected the dots. Could the woman in the woods be the same presence haunting the school? I don't have the answers, but I do know one thing. Some places are better left undisturbed. Title: The Ghost in the Locker Room. It was the fall of my sophomore year in high school when this happened. I was on the swim team, and we usually practiced late after school, around 6 p.m. By the time we finished, it was dark outside and the school was eerily quiet. One night, after practice, I was the last one in the locker room. The rest of the team had already left, and I was taking my time packing up because I wasn't in a rush to get home. As I was putting on my jacket, I heard it, the sound of someone whistling. At first, I thought it might have been one of my teammates messing around, but when I called out, "Who's there?" I got no response. The whistling stopped. The only sound left was the faint dripping of water from the showers. I felt uneasy but tried to brush it off. Maybe it was just my imagination or some weird acoustics from the pool area. As I grabbed my bag and headed toward the exit, I heard it again, whistling, but this time closer. I turned around and froze. One of the lockers at the far end of the room slowly creaked open. There was no one nearby, and I was sure I had seen all the lockers shut when I arrived. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling. No response. I walked toward the open locker, trying to convince myself it was just a draft. As I got closer, I noticed something strange. Inside the locker was a photo taped to the back wall. It was old and faded, but I could make out a boy wearing a swim team uniform from decades ago. Suddenly, the locker door slammed shut with a deafening bang. I jumped back, my heart racing. I grabbed my stuff and bolted out of the locker room without looking back. The next day, I told my coach about what had happened. He looked at me with a strange expression and asked, "Was it locker 117? I nodded, surprised he knew. He sighed and said, "You're not the first one to see or hear something in there." Years ago, a boy drowned during a swim meet. He was part of the team, and his favorite locker was number 117. Since then, people have reported strange things, whistling, slamming lockers, and even seeing his shadow near the pool late at night. I never went into that locker room alone again. To this day, the sound of whistling sends a chill down my spine. If you enjoyed these spine-tingling stories, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling content. And we want to hear from you. Share your own scary school night experiences in the comments below. What happened to you? Let's keep the conversation going and see if your story can top these. Thanks for watching and stay spooky.